Rule 5, mounts, or also known as horses. You may not play a horse that's blind in one eye or both eyes. That's kind of obvious. So if he's blind in one eye, you can't play him, or if he's blind in two eyes, you can't play him. You can't play a horse that's out of control, and your umpire will send a horse off the field if you don't have control of your horse. Generally, players who lose control of their horses want to get off of them as quickly as possible. So if your horse is uncontrollable, can't play him. And we will send them off the field. We have no problem doing that because it's for the safety. Horses in a tournament may only play for one team. Now this is an interesting rule because it's hard to enforce, and you have to have a really good eye for horses to enforce this. So they give us and the host tournament committee, and players from other teams can protest this. It's happened in the past. It happens all the time. Sometimes it happens by accident. They don't have enough horses and somebody wants to borrow a horse. So can't do it. Sorry. Okay, horses with any visible blood anywhere on their body may be removed from the game by your umpire. Oftentimes what we'll do is we'll say, hey, your horse has a little bit of blood here. Go wash it out with a sponge. Come back, it's fine, no problem. If the blood appears again, the horse can't come back. We'll order him off the field and allow you time to change. Horses improperly conditioned cannot play. What is this? There's actually a scale on horse conditioning. Most of us umpires have a copy. Polo Development keeps a nice log of this, but there's a little score sheet. Horses that are too thin can't play. We've had that issue before. Horses that are too fat can't play. You wouldn't want to anyway because they're not in shape, but you'd be surprised what people can come up with. So if your horse is too thin, if your horse is too fat, if your horse isn't in shape properly, we may order him off the field. No unnecessary spurring or whipping. Okay, so if you're just beating your horse, you're going to get a penalty called against you. We may order the horse off the field. We may red card you and order you off the field. So be kind to your horses. What happens most of the time, this rule really only comes into play when players freehand whip their horse. In other words, you switch hands and you hold your reins and your mallet with your right hand, and you have only your whip in your left hand, and you're whipping your horse. You can do that during play, but once it's a dead ball, you cannot do that. I had a player ask me one time, well, how am I supposed to school my horse? And I said, you do it on your own time behind the barns where there's not a Sunday crowd watching you. This rule has an obvious connotation to it. We want to be mindful of animal rights groups, and we love our horses. So no freehand whipping on a dead ball. You'll get an automatic penalty. If you keep doing it, you'll get a yellow card and a red card. So don't do it. No hitting your horse with the mallet. Really under dangerous use of the mallet, this comes in hitting other people's horses with the mallet. You're responsible for your mallet at all times, but you can't use your mallet to tap your horse or use it as a whip or in any way hit your horse with it. Generally, players don't do that. Occasionally, a player will drop his whip and his horse will not cooperate and he'll whack him with the mallet. I've seen 5-6 players do this. Automatic foul, probably a yellow card. If I saw that, I'd give you a yellow card right away. That's unacceptable. Okay, hitting another player's horse with your whip. Never seen it done before, and I wouldn't do it. First of all, it's against the rule. You can't do it. You'll get a penalty or a yellow card. Second of all, if somebody hit my horse with their whip, we would have a bit of a problem. So I don't recommend doing it. Not everybody is as sweet and kind as I am and as your umpires are. Other players may take offense to it, and that's not a good thing. So those are your basics on the horses of polo. Rule 5, mounts.